Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. We now turn on to the Spotlight segment, and John and I had a little sit down with Martin Vivian of the StreamSphere app, and where we talked about his app. Here's that discussion that John and I and Martin had a little while ago. We're now joined by our friend Martin Vivian from StreamSphere. This is an app I demonstrated in episode 188 as the app of the week. And we're so thankful that Martin has joined us today to talk about StreamSphere. Now, if you didn't get the opportunity to listen to my demonstration of the app, let me give Martin the opportunity to talk a little bit about what StreamSphere is, and then we'll talk about some of the features or aspects of the app that we would like to talk about. Martin, would you tell people what StreamSphere is?
Yes, so StreamSphere, it's an RSS reader. I don't know if I need to explain what is RSS. So yes, so it's an RSS reader, so it allows you to follow blogs directly through an application. And the particularity with this application is that everything works locally. So you don't have your content inside the cloud, or everything is stored through the application. And you are free to add all links that you want from all blogs, in fact, that support RSS. There is many things that are good. For example, you have a read mode that take only the content, the important contents and the text from a website. You can also save an article in your favorites. We have also already multiple blogs inside the application to help people. If it's hard for you to find RSS links, there is already less than 1,000 links inside the application. Then you can add directly.
Yeah, this is a great app. And one of the things that drew me to the app, Martin, is the name StreamSphere. I'm like, this is such a catchy name. And so I decided to take a look at it. And of course, it's nice and accessible to those of us who are blind. And I'm not sure if you thought of us blind people when you were making this app. But before we talk about those of us who are blind, let's talk about the history. What led you actually to the development of StreamSphere, where you may be kind of frustrated by some of the things you are seeing in other RSS feed readers and all of that led you to deciding to start a little project of your own in developing StreamSphere. What was the reason behind the development of StreamSphere?
Yes, so at the beginning, in fact, I had a smartphone and I just want to get a simple application to receive simply the news website. And then I tried to find that, but in my research, I don't really find an application that really matched with what I want. Generally, I need to pay to get full access, or there is many ads, or it was externalized to a cloud, and when the cloud is done, then I stopped to have access to the application. So since I don't like, finally I discover the RSS the RSS protocol, which we can also use by the application. So I discover RSS application, but there also it don't really match. There is not a lot, in fact, RSS reader in the Play Store. And this is why finally I decided to directly implement my RSS reader, but it was only for my personal usage. And it was really simple, with only the feature that I really want for me. And I do that in parallel of my study. So I start this application around 5 years ago or 6. And I do that, I add sometime a new small feature that I think for me it should be good. And then finally at the end, I think that the application was enough good to go on the Play Store, so I published it. And I observed that people also like this application.
I'm glad you decided to share your personal project with us because, like I said, knucklehead like me across from the pond from you, and I'm now using that, and it has become my default RSS reader. I really like the layout, and especially when I tap on that get full text. I've had some other RSS readers that it just shows me the snippets, and there's no way I have to click on open in browser. And for me, the whole idea of an RSS reader is to be able to get that full content right from within the app natively, as to me going to the website and all of that. I mean, you do have the capability if one chooses to in your app. If they want to open in browser, they can, but outside of that, one can entirely view the article right in and there by tapping on that get full text. And that's one of the huge pluses for me when it comes to StreamSphere. Now, were there any problems that you encountered while developing this app? Did you run into any difficulties, especially maybe in trying to add content from the different sources? Or I have no clue all that it entails for you guys to be able to do this wonderful work that you do, to be able to access these things. Were there any difficulties that you encountered?
Technical difficulties, I suppose.
Yeah, like maybe any technical difficulties that you may encounter, during the
Yes.
development.
But for me, for the hardest part was the make something that can work locally, but which must be efficient also. So there is a local database in the application where I store all the article. When we make a refresh, everything is stored, but we need to go very fast because sometimes to load 1,000 articles, it's fine. So it was so difficult to think and to find the good compromise to get something enough powerful, and but that can also work locally on the smartphone. Also, the possibility to editing, to remove sources, adding sources. In fact, all the part that works with the database in the application was hard for me. There is also some website that not always works, and also yes, for that it's also difficult to think of all the possibilities that the other website can create and can block the application. That was not the most difficult part. But yes, it was really the local aspect which was complex.
Well, the good thing is that you were able to kind of overcome some of those difficulties.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I mean, I like the simplicity of the app. As I've indicated, it's very simplistic. And I think for me, I've always argued that if it takes me such a long time to be able to get an app to a place where I'm able to use it, then it all defeats the purpose of the app. And I like simplistic apps that does the job well that they're intended for. And this is what StreamSphere does, which makes me really like the app. Now, I noticed though you don't have any tabs at the bottom and all of that. There's absolutely none of that. It's just very simplistic. And I was just kind of wondering, for example, would there be maybe some consideration later on down the line where you may want to add something like maybe some things I want to add to like my archived, or some articles that I want to keep perpetually like favorite. So whatever it is that I would like to, I'm not sure that I saw that in there, although there's no need one could just delete what one doesn't want to keep and just keep those. But I thought that, maybe there's an article that I read and I really like it and I want to save it. Would you be thinking of maybe coming up with a tab that we could just keep those articles that we want to keep perpetually, something along that line?
I'm not sure to understand the question.
I was thinking, like, would it be possible, like, say, so I get an article about maybe Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra that I really like the review, and I want to save it in a folder. I don't remember. Was there a way to create a folder so I could save things in a folder?
So you want to save the an
Yeah.
article.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, maybe by. I was thinking that I don't do that. Maybe by exporting as a PDF, but the article.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I could create folder, or if you have a folder that you create by default in the app, like maybe my favorites or whatever. So I could just move those uh, articles that I like to save them in there in my favorites or in whatever folder, so that I want to keep those, perpetually. I could always go there and find those as to the main UI where all the different articles are located. So I was just wondering, maybe down the line, if you're doing some update, if you could implement such a feature in the app. I mean, it's not necessary, but I kind of thought that it would make it good.
Yes, I can. It's possible, but so if I would understand, you want to save your favorite in the storage of your phone in a folder which is external of the application.
Yeah, so no, so like in the app, if I could create a folder within the app that says my favorites or articles to read later or something like that, and I could just say I saw this article that I like, and I could just mark it and say move it to my favorite or to my read later folder. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yes, okay, I understand. Yes, so that I think it will be hard to do, but it's possible.
Yeah,
Thinking to make the left menu with more settings because now it's mandatory to have the favorite all, and in the future I think to add parameters for people to add a new folder, remove folders, like favorite, for example.
it would be great to see such a thing happening if you have time. I know you don't have too much time and you work on this when you have some time,
Yes.
but given the importance of this app, whenever you have time, maybe that's something you could implement into the app, and giving us that ability to save the things we want to keep. So it is always there, the stuff that I like.
Yes, because as I say, each week I received a mail from someone which wanted something new, but it's hard for me since it's a small project to follow the all demand. But yes, I can try to do that when I find time.
So you mentioned that you had some technical difficulties getting it to sync everything locally. I'm wondering, so when you sync all of the articles on your phone, is it saving the entire articles there, or do you still need a connection to the internet if you want to click on the show full text button to show the entire article? Like, once you sync it, is everything actually there on your phone? Like, if you're going on a commute and you're gonna have spotty service or something, would you still be able to see the full text of the article, or does it download that stuff when you actually hit the button?
In fact, it's a save only when we in the read mode we have a button to get the full article, but that is not saved in the database. The full article is not saved. It's only the first part of the article that you see in the read mode. Also, the images are not saved locally in the database. I save only the URL of the image. So, and there is a user library that uses the cache of the phone, and it's to manage the load of the images. So if you don't scroll to the article, to all the article, in fact, it will only download the images of the first article that you have on the app, and not all the images.
Would it be possible to maybe let the user specify that you want the entire articles downloaded? If not for every article, for certain articles from specific sources, so that you don't have to have a connection to get the entire article? Or is there some sort of technical limitation that prevents you from doing that?
Yes, if I would understand, you want possibility to save the full article also locally.
Yes.
Well, automatically
Automatically, yes.
downloaded to the app. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be saved in a specific folder outside the app on the phone. Just to be
Okay.
able to hit sync and know that all of your articles are going to be there when you need them, whether you're
Yes.
connected or not.
So, in other words, Martin, what John is trying to say, okay, so I'm using my area, for example. We drive like maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes out of here, toward the eastern part of the state, and there's no connectivity at all whatsoever. But if I had accessed the full text while I'm here at home, where internet connectivity is possible, and then we move out into the country, farther out into the country where there's nothing, I want to be able to still access that article that I was viewing the full text while I was at home. So that's what he's talking about. Will that be possible, or must I need an internet? Or by getting that full text, that means even if I don't have internet access, will I still be able to access that text?
Yes, it will be possible if you make the refresh to directly save the full text in the database. But if I need to do that for all the articles, I think technically it will be complicated, because when you load the RSS, you make only one connection to the website, to the RSS links. But if you want to have the full article for everything, if you have a 300 new articles, then I will need to create a 300 query also to collect all the text of each one. So maybe it's a bit too much for that. But so I'm not sure, but maybe some website could block you if you make a 300 connection in 1 second to get the full text. But yes, but if you, but yes, it will be possible in the read mode if you make you click on the button to get the full text, that it saves the full text in the database. Yes, that is it's easy to do.
All right, Martin, the next question I have, as a blind person, this is very important to me. And I don't think it's only just me as a blind kid, but for example, what I'm trying to talk about here has to do with the TTS readout. I mean, right now, I like the way it is. I can read it either using my Braille display, or I could read it with my screen reader. But I was wondering, maybe down the line, you would want to implement the TTS readout so that I could shut off the phone and it has the background play, so I can listen to the article while I'm working on something, whether I'm cooking in the kitchen, or a sighted person could be driving and they could be listening to the article. Are you going to be thinking of something down the line in implementing something like a TTS readout?
Yes, in fact, I had already tried to implement the TTS on the application, but after I'm thinking that yes, but there is already screen reader, so maybe it's a useless feature. But I know you see me that if you shut down your screen, you are not able to use the screen reader. In fact, if I could understand, because for
Yeah.
me, since there was a screen reader already, it was not necessary to get the time to speech. In fact.
Yeah, so I mean, like our phones already have TTS readers. I mean, like a text-to-speech already is there on our phone. So even if it will be a little bit difficult to integrate external TTS, the native TTS engines on our devices should be able to do that. Especially most phones already have that Google text-to-speech in there. So my whole idea is that we should have a TTS readout, so I don't have to keep my screen on. And like I said, and it's not just because of me being blind, but also I see this as a useful feature even for sighted people, because if the article is long and you want to just listen to it and things like that, I think that would be great. But at least have the ability to read an article with the TTS output, so that even when I shut off the screen, I can still hear that thing being read. That's what I'm talking about. So, do you think maybe you help us do that sometime when you have time? I know it's very busy for you, but maybe when you have some time, you could try on implementing something like that.
Yes, so yes, as I said, I had already tried to implement it, so I know how to do that. But I had some small issue. For example, when the text is too big, it don't work. So it's a problem that I need to find a solution for this problem, because if the text exceeds 4,000 characters, the text to speech don't work. So I need to find a way to cut the text in multiple parts and read each part. But so there is
Yeah.
this problem, and also for the language, I need to create a player, for example. So it's in more implementation where people can choose. I need the text to speech in French, in English. But yes, but I also already thinking to create, for example, a beta version where there is this is only in English and it works for the not too big text. So it's also a possibility to get already some things faster, and after I try to improve it in the future.
This problem that you were coming across, was that using the native TTS, or was that some external TTS engine that you were trying to?
It was the native TTS that I tried to integrate in the application.
Oh, okay.
It's limited in the size, in fact. So
I see. That's kind of strange, because I was hoping, though, that using the native TTS, one should not have such a limitation. But if you are running into that problem, maybe it's something that you could solve later on, or whatever the case may be. But I think it will be good to be able to have that. But if not, if those of us who are blind and are listening to this, the workaround, as I indicated in my review or demo of the app, is that one could use that reading mode app from Google, and it will read the entire thing even when you shut your screen off. So for those of us who are blind, we still have a workaround, and just employ that reading mode, and it will be fine.
yes, I understand. It should be great. This is just because I get these difficulties, and after I think, okay, there is screen reader, there is no problem, but I don't know this problem, in fact. So I will try to continue it.
Are you considering maybe charging for it a little bit, maybe even if it's $1 a year? I mean, I know you don't want to charge for the app, but maybe if you want people to pay maybe $1 a year, that could also give you an incentive in keeping it going, so that it doesn't get abandoned. Because I've seen some apps like this that after a while the developer just forgets about it. But if you kind of maybe charge, like, even minimally $1 a year annual subscription, I don't think that will be a bad idea. Have you ever thought about that?
Your question is to be if I create a business plan on the application with $1 a year.
Yeah, because
Well,
my whole idea is, you're working on this thing, and it takes a little bit of your time, not a little bit, but a lot of your time to get these things, most especially like some of the things we've talked about, wanting to see if you could implement. Of course, it will take your time in order to be able to make such possible. But so I was thinking, whether it would be possible, maybe you could implement, even if charge $1 annual subscription, to kind of make sure that you have time to work on it, and also a little incentive. I know $1 is nothing, but at least it kind of ensures that you'll work on it.
yes, I had already thinking maybe in the future to add premium features to get money, but
Yes.
yes, if I receive money, it will be incentive. In fact, I done this project. The first, the reason that I created this project is it was for my personal usage, because I don't really find an app where I can find easily news and follow blogs easily. So I created it for me. So it was my motivation to get good tools for me. And after, I stay thinking that yes, it should be also great if other people can use it. Why not? So I push it on the Play Store, and I know I see that many people like these tools also. So, but I don't think that before. But yes, I know this is real. No, there is more people that want new things, but I don't receive things.
How many languages does StreamSphere support? Do you, from the top of your head, you know how many languages this app supports? I know it supports English, of course, because I'm using it in English, and of course, I know it supports French. Are there any other languages that are supported?
No, there is only English. In fact, I was thinking that it will be too much work for me to manage 100 language. So I prioritize to only English. But and because yes, and maybe because if each time I add a new word in the application, I need to create a 100 translation. So I focus on the English. This is also the default of the application, because the suggested sources that are inside the application are also only in English. But there is already 1,000, a bit less than 1,000 sources inside the application. So if I create a 100 language, I will need to give a maintainability on the application with 100 to 1,000 sources. So it will be big for the maintainability. So I don't know exactly which compromise to find, or maybe take the popular languages inside.
Yeah. Okay, so I understand what's going on now. Yeah, but so I really like the app, and again, I like the clean UI of the app, and really thank you so much for StreamSphere. And Martin, so before we let you go though, down the road, should we want you to come back again after you've implemented some stuff? We want to talk on those things again. Let's say maybe you found a breakthrough to where you could add a TTS readout. We'd like you to come back and talk about that. So would it be okay for me to reach out to you to come back down the line? Should you have implemented some other features into the app? Would like you to come back.
Oh, yes. For me, it's not a problem.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for taking your time to come. And how does anyone get hold of you? Should someone want to contact you? I guess they could just use that email feature from the Play Store to contact you, right? Or is there a different method through which you would rather have people contact you?
Yes. In fact, I create this address because I receive often also spamming email. So it's not with my other mail. So I create a specific address for this application. They can contact me through this address. Yes, there is no problem.
Good. Thank you so much. Well, again, thank you so much. And you and I will keep in touch. And I do want to thank you again for coming on to Blind Android Users. And I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Okay. And thank you for this meeting.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, that's StreamSphere. And if you haven't listened to that demo that I did, you could take a listen to it, and you could find StreamSphere on the Play Store.